Money for jobs, not racist mobs. Money for jobs, not racist mobs. Money for jobs, not racist mobs. USA, CIA, hands off Ukraine. USA, CIA, hands off Ukraine. USA, CIA, hands off Ukraine. USA, CIA, hands off Venezuela. USA, CIA, hands off Venezuela.
We're out here to show the links between the U.S. support for fascist gangs, right-wing groups in both Ukraine and in Venezuela that are attempts at regime change, really takeover, so dangerous and resisted in Venezuela against a popular government. In Ukraine, it's absolutely a movement for the expansion of NATO right up to the borders of Russia, an extremely dangerous, aggressive move. And again, what the U.S. is using and what they're using in Syria, what they used in Haiti, Ecuador, we could go on and on, the number of countries where the U.S. arms, finances, trains extreme right-wing and fascist groups.
Sisters and brothers, you might have heard that the Pentagon is supposed to be cutting back. Well, don't get the erroneous impression that they're not interested in war anymore. As long as they got drones, they're going to be bombing people fighting for their freedom. And they also got the CIA and plenty of money and the State Department, and they are very experienced at fomenting fascist coups. Anytime you see the children of the 1% demonstrating in the streets of Caracas against the poor, against the ongoing socialist revolution in Venezuela, you know what you can count on? The U.S. hands is behind it. The U.S. hands is behind it. They have not given up overthrowing the revolution in Venezuela. They've been trying to do that for more than 10 years. And we're here to say to the world, and especially the people of Venezuela, you have allies all over the world, on every continent, and we will not stand by while the U.S. and other counter-revolutionary reactionaries try to wage war on poor and working people and overturn your revolution.
That's right. I just came back in Iran. From Iran, there was a big meeting in University of Tehran in support of Venezuela. This is what the solidarity of the people of the Middle East with the people of Venezuela.
We want people everywhere to know, from the East to Europe to the West, that the sisters and brothers who are fighting for freedom, fighting to remain independent of U.S. imperialism, they have allies right here in the belly of the beast, right here on Times Square, in the middle of the financial, commercial world of U.S. imperialism.
So many times we've heard it. They say, oh, people are suffering in some country, and the CIA and the Pentagon, they've just got to go in to rescue them, and they care so much. Look at the people of Iraq. Are they any better off now that their country's been destroyed? Look at the people of Afghanistan. Are they any better off? How about Libya? Have these people ever brought peace to any country? Have they ever brought prosperity to any country? Have they ever brought a better life anywhere? U.S. bombs don't bring freedom. U.S. bombs don't bring happiness. It doesn't work that way. The Pentagon serves Wall Street, not the people.
Right now we have 1 million students here in New York whose transportation need is being threatened by budget cuts, by layoffs, by 2,000 matrons, mostly oppressed women from the Latin and Haitian community, and white workers who are facing cutback and low wages, $8 an hour, denied social service. In Venezuela, we have a president who's a bus driver who gives the Venezuelan government and their children and their youth their social, economic, and civil rights needs. We support Venezuela by deeds.
And I want to talk today about why young people need to be active and vocal in the fight against intervention in Venezuela and intervention in Ukraine. My whole generation is stuck with low-wage work, no jobs, debt after college, year after year. And we have grown up in the generation of warmongering, And we are fed up, not another war, because we know that the only profit that will happen when U.S. invades or intervenes in the self-determination of the Venezuelan Bolivarian Revolution is opening up a new market for low-wage workers, opening up more markets for low-wage products in this country and abroad. We will not take it. We will not listen to the lies. We're here to say, USA, CIA, hands off Ukraine, hands off Venezuela, and that our generation is not a generation that believes in the promise of the American dream no longer, because we know that we are under the global struggle of young people fighting against austerity, fighting against unemployment, and we should model after the Bolivarian Revolution in this country. Thank you.
9% of those incarcerated worldwide are black and brown people. That is a damn shame, and that is a crime. They are locking up youth. They are shutting down schools. Tuition has skyrocketed across Michigan. In Wayne County alone, where I live, they're snatching the food literally out of people's mouths while talking about what other countries are supposedly doing. All of it is speculation by the UE, the UN, and NATO. But they can cut food stamps by $11. The Farm Bill is threatening to cut more back from families like me and my family who live on Section 8, who depend on the system that says we don't care about you. We don't care about your education. We don't care about your health. All we care about is profit and war. The more we can occupy, the more we can give to the 1% who say squash the workers, squash the oppressed, squash those working women and mothers who can't afford to feed their own children. Fight Imperialism, Stand Together says no. We are youth 16 to 25 who have banded together, and we stand with our brothers and sisters nationally and internationally to fight this system. Fight any president who's just going to stand for the bourgeoisie, from Obama to any president who comes after him to any president who came before him. This entire system must be put asunder, and that is why we stand with the people in Venezuela. We stand with the anti-fascists in the Ukraine. We stand with the DPRK. We stand for any oppressed nation that fights this imperialist, parasitic system.
And let me tell you something. Venezuela has the highest rate of access for healthcare in South America. Yeah. Venezuela has the best access to education in South America. You cannot tell me that the Bolivarian Revolution is against the people, because from day one, the Bolivarian Revolution has been for the people. That's right. And the vendepatrias, the gusanos, the people who want to privatize Venezuela's oil industry, they're tricking us. They're dressing like us. They're owning our means of production. They're trying to hijack all of our access of communication, and they're trying to create this image that these U.S.-backed leaders are fighting for democracy. They're fighting for their pockets. They're fighting for their own money. They're not fighting for the 99%. Venezuela, before the Bolivarian Revolution, was a neoliberal disaster. There was no access to education, no access to healthcare, and no rights for the people. But now Venezuela has that, and it is our duty to defend the revolution. In Ukraine, the fascist mobs have worn swastikas. The fascist mobs have openly spoken against the Jewish community in Ukraine. People need to wake up.
And so we're here in Times Square, New York, as anti-imperialist, anti-war activists, to say that we're not fools. We know what's going on, and we know that the dirty hand of U.S. imperialism, the Pentagon, the CIA, and those who it works for on Wall Street are behind these events, and we will not tolerate it. We may be thousands of miles away from the Ukraine and from Venezuela, but we know what's going on, and we stand with the people of these regions in their opposition to U.S. imperialist or European domination.